הנה לא יונו ולא ישון שומר ישרו, ולאדוני שומרך אדוני תלך יד ימינך, יום השמש לא יכר, ויורח בעלוי, לא אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך, אדוני ישמור את ציצרו ויח, מעטו, ויד אוילום. My dear friends, take a few coins, let's put it together in the pushka, and together we're going to merit the redemption. Mashiach's arrival, especially today. What a wonderful day today is Erev Shabbos Menachem Av. The Shabbos, I should say Erev Shabbos Mevorchim Menachem Av. The Shabbos is the Shabbos where we bless the month of Av. Not called just Av, called Menachem Av. Consoling. The consolation, two ways, of the Father, and the consolation that the Father is consoling us. Menachem Av, our Father is consoling us. Consolation is usually just a sharing of feeling. Somebody who is in mourning state, somebody who is in sad moment, we console him, we give him words of support, words of sympathy, help him as much as we can. But it's basically just alleviating the pain, not changing the situation. Talking about Menachem Av, Father is consoling us, that's not just words. There we expect tachlis, there we expect something to happen to change the situation. There should be no mourning. Dad, let me share with you a story which Yankee Tober shares in Chabad Adog. If the story is true, is irrelevant. The idea is true. And the story goes as follows. This simple, ignorant Jewish individual who lives in the outskirts, somewhere on the roads, on the farm, has very little opportunity to be involved in the Jewish community, never goes to shul, simply because situation is such, difficulties with parnassus, so he lives his life, leads his life, him and his wife, they lead their life there somewhere on a farm. But comes for Rosh Hashanah, for the high holidays, there he moves in with his wife to the city, gets himself a proper place where to stay, and enjoys the environment. Rosh Hashanah night, his wife sets up a beautiful table with all the customary Rosh Hashanah meals, and Rosh Hashanah dishes. And he also, at the same time, he already smells that his wife is preparing the delicious cholent for tomorrow. Well, that's for tomorrow, not for tonight. The next day, he goes to shul. Reading the Machzor is beyond his capability. But he reads a little bit here, a little bit there with the translation. He makes out a few letters. And he follows the emotional experience. Then there's the shofar blowing, which is a very emotional moment. But really, at that time, he's already getting a little bit hungry. And he knows that shofar is important, so he kind of puts aside his hunger pangs. And especially he thinks it pays to wait, because the longer the cholent stays on the stove, the better it's going to be. So between the severity, the seriousness of the shofar and the taste of the cholent, he's okay, he waits. And comes Musaf. And then suddenly, at a certain moment, a very stirring moment, the whole community bursts out in crying. The Chazan has given a very deep feeling, emotional rendition of some of the prayers of Rosh Hashanah. And he wonders, why are the people crying? He says, obviously they're crying. They're as hungry as I am. But then they stop crying because they also realize that it pays to wait for the cholent. But this happens a few times. Crying, they're hungry, thinking of the cholent that's getting better. But then at one point, the burst out is so powerful, and it affects him also. And it says, Rabbeinu Shalom, I know the cholent is getting better, but I'm really so hungry, I don't want to wait anymore, I want the cholent now. How much can we wait? We're in exile. The reason we're in exile, because God is collecting all those sparks, those souls that have been lost, and all of them are coming slowly, they're coming back. And we're waiting. Why? Because the Cholent is getting better. More Jews are getting involved. The more people are getting more sincere. The world is becoming more recognizing the reality and the truth of Hashem and God. And it says we see the whole world transforming itself. And the more it goes on, the more the world is becoming closer and closer to the Eibishter. But it comes to a point we tell Eibishter, we can schon nicht. We can't wait anymore. We want the Cholent now. Menachemav, we tell the Eibishter, don't just console us that the Cholent is getting better. Eibishter, before Shabbos, we want to taste the Cholent. We want to taste the redemption now. So that this Shabbos, wird sein Cholent.